Listen, every day is bad news for me. What'd you do?
Nothing yet.
Are you not going to be here next week?
What's next week?
Corey fire you?
No, the producer fired me.
I can see that.
Yeah, it happened.
Said that, or
Do you know why he got fired?
Because he said that it needed salt.
That's right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's why I'm still eating it. I ain't saying it needs salt at all. She's going to come in here and look. I'll wait for the door to open.
Oh man. So Salem Speedway. It's that you talk about indoor tracks.
Right.
It's probably arguably one of two premier indoor tracks in the nation.
By far.
Whether it's for the speedway carts, the cage carts, the midgets.
Well, you look at the talent that's there too.
Absolutely. And,
You know,
and you got the big it's not called Cage Cup anymore. It's something else. I don't know what they're calling it this year.
I believe if Jason's listening and stuff, he could fill us in a little bit more about it. But
then you got the BK.
You got the BK
now,
race.
when it comes to speedway carts, and that's kind of where Josh and I have our forte. We don't mess around with those cage carts because
you want to hear an interesting fact?
Big guys like us don't fit in those carts real well.
You want to hear an interesting fact about that? So, Jeff's. I've known Jeff that you call him Buddha Kinzer.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where the BK started.
And look at what that deal has done.
Now, years ago, he dated my sister.
Really?
Before my sister married Jeff Spalding, right? And before Jeff passed away, we were up at Oakwood on the indoor up there.
Which is where this whole thing started, though.
That's exactly where it is. Jeff was huge in our racing industry.
Right.
Had a huge heart. Supported a lot of people. When J.R. Parrott sold Parrott Racing, Jeff, and his with some help with his mom and everything else, and with the loan, basically bought Parrott Racing, took it up north. Mm-hmm. He did everything he could to help support CKA. Mid-Valley when Mid-Valley was still around. I mean, he was huge into support. Just didn't have all the next, but I mean, had a lot of people and stuff helping him. Colin from CRE, Jason Gibb, mm-hmm. Ronnie Cox. Ronnie Cox and him were very, very, very close.
They're like brothers.
It was my understanding, because I didn't talk to Ronnie. I haven't talked to Ronnie for several years. It hit him pretty hard.
It did, and Ronnie is a big draw at the BK. Whether and I've watched him there for the last 5 or so years.
The 9 or the 9X depends on what. And the coolest part about
the thing about it is, when it comes to the BK, and for those of you guys out there that don't know what the BK is, at Salem Speedway, it's the biggest, and I will say it's the biggest indoor speedway kart race that you're probably going to find
across the country.
In the nation. And it's drawing cars from. We've had cars from Texas.
Well,
seriously,
it's drawing literally media.
Well, it is, and it's drawing big names. But the thing for me, and this is because you talk about Ronnie and you talk about Buddha. The thing for me is every year you show up at BK and Ronnie's got some new paint scheme dedicated specifically to Jeff Buddha Kinzer.
Well, you talk about
now.
If you ask who Jeff Benson is, nobody knows him. You say Buddha Kinzer,
right?
Everybody knows who Buddha Kinzer is. And the people who don't know, Jeff Benson. I mean, that's his full name.
Right.
Didn't know him. He went by Buddha. It was just, what he did. Just a big teddy bear.
Guy had a passion for karting. The guy would help anybody. Now, he went out, I think, like any of us probably would prefer, I mean, and it sucks to talk about somebody passing, but he passed in the seat.
Yeah, had a heart attack, I believe.
Had a heart attack in the seat racing. I mean, talk about adrenaline,
Yeah, it...
But the guy, you go through the karting ranks up and down the West Coast or anywhere, and you will not, and I mean this, you will not find a single person who has a bad thing to say about this guy.
Not at all.
I mean, he's just, to win the BK. I know people right now, and if you watch Facebook, there are already people right now. The season hasn't even started. It's one of the last races of the year.
And they're talking about it.
They're preparing for it. I mean, I know people that have bought their tires for this race already. The people that are, this is a big deal. Well, and a couple years ago, I got to run that race. I got to drive the car for Paul up there, the number 3 car. The Track Magic, mm-hmm. One of that house cars there, and Paul Eicher, and was actually running
You're running fairly well. We'll put it like that.
I was running fairly well until things, and this is a race where you show up and you
better be on top of your game,
and you better be ready to drive dirty.
Well, not dirty.
Not dirty. I'm saying defensive because
defensive.
You're gonna get, and I'll tell you right now, you're gonna get the hell beat out of you. Okay, and I had started 14. No, I missed. I was one row, so I started 12th out of 16 cars in that show. Had worked my way up to 5th in a matter of 6 laps when certain individual out of California decided to get stupid and take out 3 Oregon cars. And when I say take out,
but that was out of a revenge too.
It
from the year
absolutely
before.
was. It absolutely was. And what spurred after that was, I mean, it's the BK. It's the most passionate race of the year for these guys. And what happened after that was, I truly thought we were going to have a border war. I mean, I thought
it was
California
I was
versus
sitting
Oregon.
in the stands.
It
got tense. You could feel the tension.
Well, and Josh came down to me after the race, was like, "Dude, you were moving. The car was hooked up. I mean, you were, And then he says, and that's when we made our way down towards the scales, and I was pretty positive it was gonna be go time, battle royal style. I mean, I got
my boys back.
We're talking several. We're talking not just me, but there was about 20 other Oregon drivers and a whole gang of California guys, and I thought it was gonna get nasty.
Some words were said.
A lot of words were said.
Talking about barbecues. Who was bringing the crock pot?
Nope, not true. It was a lot of F words and MFs and son of us, and I thought there was going to be some punches.
I believe the key word was wait until next year.
Yeah, and it's every
year. They were bringing wreck cars.
Yeah,
like just to take people out.
It got ugly, but you know what? It is the most awesome, especially with the UAS division.
Now that's new to me.
Okay.
But those things, like I was just talking to Don Humble today at CMC.
It is insane.
And I asked him to, educate me a little bit. He goes, dude, he says, literally, this is a class with money.
Because these are cars. These are
class.
carts. These are carts that you could easily build a very nice A-Main championship quality super sport at Willamette Speedway for.
Uh-huh.
You've got to be kidding me.
These guys are
We're talking guys that got 10, 12, 15 grand in their engine.
They're taking 250s.
No, they're taking 450s.
Oh, yeah, and 450s were like that. Fuel injected, on methanol, retarded horsepower.
Jawa engines, Honda 450s. You'll see guys with, dual KT100. It's a class that is open, and when they say open...
It's open to weight.
It's open.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I think there are some body height rules, and that's... other than that, it gets...
Yeah,
dude,
it's power to weight.
And these guys here, and you want to talk about some unbelievable drivers. Mm-hmm. I'm talking quality drivers that just and they.
I think Ronnie Cox drives one too. Doesn't
Ronnie Cox.
Does Renee Angel?
Renee does run.
I know that. I know she's running a lot of CMC stuff.
Oh, you've got
KT stuff.
Got guys come from California and Montana, and we've had guys from Texas, and we've had some really, really big. Wayne Felch. Felch won it. I want to say 2 or 3 years in a row. And in that car that he's got, is hands down the most exotic cart you'll ever see at any time.
It almost like that when it comes off the track, that it's still baby polish clean.
It is, but it's the chassis it's his own design. It's called the Crossbones. Frame rails are independent from each other. This thing twists and hooks. It's absolutely insane. And I've been around karting since the early '80s, mid '80s, about the same time you got into it. And I have never seen anything like this in the karting world. It's a one of a kind. It's a demon. It's just the most exotic thing.
And they sound gnarly.
Well, okay, so when we say UAS isn't open, look at him. Look at the look on his face right now. He has no clue what we're talking about.
Nothing.
So we're going to take it to one of these races. But check this out. Wayne Felch, you guys have been watching on Facebook, okay? He runs an inline duel. Okay, so instead of putting the motors on each side, like most everybody else, he runs, or you put them side by side on the same side. They call it a Siamese twin, whatever. He runs inline. Okay, both of his are inline. They're all, that balancers on them, and this thing it's a work of art. We'll have to post a picture of it on Moxie. His recent project, he now has, and these are I think they're 200cc engines. Okay, he now has 3 in a row. 3.
Shut up.
I'm not kidding you. I'll bring it up. I'll put it on. He has 3 engines in line on the right side of the car.
You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not. It's unbelievable.
I got to see this.
Okay, I'll bring it up.
Got to see this nonsense.
It's absolutely. And wait till you see this. I mean, it looks like something you'd see at a car show.
So you're talking like dual engine tractor pull status.
If you want to compare it to that, you can. I mean, it's just insane to see a cart with 3
motors literally straight in line. I mean, it's insane.
Here, I'll take a screenshot of this. I'll post this on Moxie so you guys can see what we're talking about. This is where karting is going, okay?
Well, karting's changed. I mean, you talk about, last time, I was in the seat, was 12 years ago. And that was at indoor at Salem. And from there, and I was talking to Don, I'm like, hey, I said, he's like, yeah, he says, I mean, racing and stuff is still, still strong. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, it's still strong, but it's changed so much. Like the wet clutches and stuff, nobody does that. Everybody goes to dry clutch.
Yep.
They only have, a 4-disc now. Bully only makes a 4-disc dry clutch. They don't make no more 3-discs. Everything now that you get, like the jack shaft stuff, it's all one piece. Everybody runs a belt drive off of the motor and stuff to the jack shaft, and then, I mean, it's so crazy. I was talking about pipes and headers and all that type of stuff, and the things that have changed, like the KT motors. Everything is just different than before. Carbs, I asked him, I said, carbs still the same? He goes, yeah, they're still the same.
Yeah.
I was like, thank God, there's something I still remember. But, yeah, I mean, that's crazy. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff coming up at Salem and Roseburg. I mean, you're going to see a lot of Moxie and stuff at both tracks.
Yep. In more than one capacity.
If you'd like to comment or call in.
Yeah, so that engine setup that Wayne runs, you'll see be posted. I mean, this engine has, I mean, this is complete insanity. You can go on Moxie Media Promotions on Facebook, check it out. But I am looking forward to getting back in the karts. I'm gonna go do some karting this winter.
Are you?
I think I'm going to.
Is this breaking news?
No, it's not breaking news. It's not breaking news. It's something that we've been looking at for the last.
So wait. Are you gonna put a mic in your cart?
No, absolutely not. You don't want to hear what I have to say when I'm in the cart. No.
Are you gonna run the BK?
So anyway, with the carts, maybe.
So wait, are you going to run a speedway cart?
Speedway cart, yep. Going to run a speedway. It's a fun class to run.
I heard somebody else close to you also is going to run.
That's true.
Dude,
we had a couple people close to us.
Why are you telling everyone that I'm going to run?
You can run all you want. It's not Hiroshima no more, bud.
Oh, my God. Did he?
We're talking racing. Oh.
So well, here's the plan.
I'm not right. I love you.
No, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the plan is, I've made, gonna put the cart back together, and we're gonna go run Salem Speedway.
Now,
Warren,
before you get into that,
someone close to me is gonna run. Warren is going to be driving one of the Moxie Motorsports house cars. He's gonna be in one of the chassis that we've got sitting there ready to go, and he's gonna run the KT class. And I don't know if you heard this, or Joel. I don't know if you heard this, and I don't know if you heard this, Josh. But there is a third car sitting there in the shop, pretty close, ready to go, waiting on a couple parts. That is going to be the third house car. We've actually got a hired gun we're going to put behind the wheel of that car. And it is being interesting.
Is he pretty good? Is he pretty good?
Who said it's a he? He never said it's a he.
Okay. Is the driver pretty good?
Well, it's been a while. He's good. I mean,
so it is a he.
It is a he. Okay.
It is a he.
So it's not Chloe.
No, Chloe's going to run her car. We're going to have 4 cars on the track this year. But the hired gun that we're actually going to put in the seat of the third house car. He's 3-time champion. We're going to put Josh in the seat of a car, and he's going to run one of our cars up there at Salem, and
Now you do realize that you just had a lot of people just shake their head and went,